Welcome to a Legion on Zoom Spoilerrific Minisode!
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Legion on Zoom. As usual, let's get on with the show. This is Chez, you know the drill. Yada yada.
And this is Miguel.
And this is Rod. What's up?
Dudes, fucking WandaVision. Oh shit.
Finally, it happened. Finally, we got the season finale. And I think one of the things that I'm happy about it, I love the show. It was good, but I'm also glad that we won't do minisodes anymore. I think that we're just going to go back to our regular programming. And we'll see if we ever do another minisode again for something else. Probably not for the Winter Soldier one, but we'll see.
I think it has to be like a calling, like in our hearts when we feel that a project is worthy of getting all three of our attentions just totally focused on it like a laser.
Well, now that you mention it, we are going to release a Snyder Cut one-shot special edition episode, and that'll be coming out the week of the release. So
tell them.
You'll see it. We're just going to devote an entire session just to breaking down every single eye blink, every hand gesture, everything. We're going to talk about it.
And I'll do my best to not completely shit on it, but I will give you listeners out there. Some of you expect me to shit on it, and I will, but not too much.
And we promise to include a Rod jizz encounter throughout the episode, just so you guys know every time he jizzes throughout the length of the episode.
Sounds fair.
Jizzes and or cries, and we get combo points when he does both at the same time.
Or like pee on myself. Any fluid it comes out during the screening, we gotta note it and tell people about it.
Okay.
Bodily fluids equal true love.
All right, but guys, let's get fucking into it. WandaVision fucking finished. Guys, we've dedicated a good chunk of this show to reviewing every damn episode. Let's give it the treatment it deserves. We saw the finale. And like this, listeners out there, you know, and viewers on YouTube, you know that we don't talk about the episodes beforehand, you know, with each other, which is hard because we text each other all the time, every day. We'll share shit. But for this, it's fresh. All right, guys, let's. I want to hear what you guys think.
All right. One thing that I just want to get out of the way. Aesthetically speaking, I love her costume. In my opinion, the color's too dark. It's literally, I think, in my opinion, the same color as Daredevil's costume. And if fans want to see a good picture of the Daredevil suit, you can go to our Insta page at our reality versus comic series that we post.
Exactly.
And this one right here, boom!
That one too. Boom! Yeah, there you go. Magic.
Beautiful
awesome.
Charlie Cox.
That cost us like $100 million.
I don't think it was too dark. I think it looked fine. I think it matches one of the outfits I think that she's had in the comic books. I think at certain points, she's had different iterations of her costume, and I think it kind of maps onto other ones. But I loved it. I thought her look was fucking dope. I'm like, finally, she looks like Scarlet Witch, and especially we've talked about this before. Like, right in the movies. She was okay, right? Like, she wasn't that like, all right, she's nice to have her there. But this show really has shown her acting skills, right? Like, Elizabeth Olsen fucking killed it. And I do really think made Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, a much more interesting character that I'm looking forward to see what she does in the MCU after all this, now that she's the Scarlet Witch.
And I believe I kind of called it because they made it into like a Phoenix Force-ish type deal. You know what I mean? That like it was like an elemental force. And I think one of my theories is being slightly confirmed because Doctor Strange should have interfered with this shit at some point. Like, it's part of his job description to get involved. He's busy with the Spider-Man fiasco, whatever that is.
Hopefully they explain that.
We gotta wait for the timeline to flesh out because we don't know if he's what he's involved in right at that given moment. Right. But I loved the way it ended. The final conflict. This is a spoilerific, right?
Oh,
spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert!
Insert now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I thought that I loved the costume. First of all, like I love how they teased at it first, and then they give you the big reveal. I loved how dark it was. Right, and then how even darker about it was how she defeated Agatha, because that was some Zatanna identity crisis level stuff, like
Dragon Ball Z level shit,
like basic some Jedi mind level shit, like
Harry Potter level shit.
I don't know. it was kind of it was one of the crueler ways you've seen like a major villain be defeated, because now she has to live as this like brainless
Word.
hilarious neighbor. But yeah,
Right,
cool ending.
Exactly, because it is. I think it's cruel in those two senses, right? One, the way she defeated her was impressive, right? With throwing back at her the runes that she was that Agatha did to her at the beginning, right? And that she's able to repeat that, and you think she's like becoming decrepit and stuff, and like she's taking her powers, and then boom, nah, motherfucker, she's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, word.
And then after that, like Scarlet Witch being like, nah, I'm gonna make you Agnes for the fucking rest of your life. Like, oh, that's like fucking cruel.
Yo, that was dark. I loved it.
Yeah, but I wanted to get at least that before we go into the details. I did want to get just the general sense of like, so what's up? Like, did you like it or not? And especially I wanted to hear Rod's, because you've been hating it and then liking it, and I was like,
honestly, now it
Yeah.
ends in that I probably won't ever watch it again unless like,
right.
it wasn't. It's not like, not that I want to hold it as high, but as the aforementioned Daredevil, like it's nothing like that.
No,
Yeah.
no.
It's more of like a delicious fan service cake. Like it's
Mhm.
great, whatever. But overall, I do like that. Like Miguel said, that the Scarlet Witch character is like manifested now, right? This is like her official MCU self. So
Yeah.
that was worth watching the series for, I guess. I didn't really see it as a journey of Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch, but I guess that's what it was all along.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Now I thought it went deeper. But yeah,
No.
and it does. And yes, the vision, the all-white vision was really cool.
Fuck yes.
And then their conflict was really cool too.
Just I wanted to say hashtag like all white vision, but then in my head I'm like, that's not such a good idea.
Finally, we get some white characters out there, none of this
Oh my God.
diversity.
But yeah, no, we could definitely take it from the top. And to go back, we finally get Monica Rambeau back in the show. So you know what? I'm back now that I'm going over the episode again in my head. All right, it was I. Like I give it a solid I. Because we
you liked it. You
we
said you
did
liked
see-
it.
Yeah.
We did see Photon or Captain Rambeau like manifest some powers, right? And it was like a tease of it, and they tease more about where she's headed, at the end. But anyway, you guys take it away. I don't know.
Let's take it from the beginning. But before, all right, but Ches, so what, did you like the finale or not?
I enjoyed it. It was amazing. Like I felt like I was watching, and I know I said this before, but this episode felt like a movie. Like the battle was epic,
Yeah.
the effects were off the hook. Like of course I have my qualms. Like I love the fact that we're getting Photon. Her powers look insane. How does she learn how to use them with such mastery?
I don't think she does. It was a como se dice, a reaction, because she just threw herself in front to get shot.
Okay. But what about the necklace? What
Oh
about
my
the necklace
God.
though? What about the necklace? She
Yo.
was like, all right, I'm gonna switch my vision. Look at his necklace. Oh, that has like,
I think
like it looks different.
it's
I'm gonna rip it.
Instinct. It's just instinct kicking in. Rod.
No. Come on. We gotta address the elephant in the room. All right, the point that I just remembered, like I wanted to talk about this. What was that dude's name? The sword, the head.
Hayward.
Hayward. He's gonna shoot children in the middle of the street.
Facts!
Yo, he's cold blooded. Yo, I'm
Listen.
telling you, man, that was a dark like finale.
Listen.
Yo.
For those
Headshots.
For those kinds of agencies to succeed, you need
Headshots.
all types of individuals.
Yeah, you need a Hayward, right?
You need a Hayward and you need a Rambeau.
He's a modern day Elliot Ness.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Shit.
like there's a couple of ways to get things done.
Damn.
That's all I'm saying. But dude, that after
Shooting
credit scene.
children.
No, I'm not saying that's okay at all.
Yo, and aiming for the head. You
Facts.
All right, there we go.
And mind you, he's like an agent with like some time on him. So imagine the time he's had at the range, just bucking headshots.
Right.
Like that's wild. Word. Thank you for pointing that out. Fuck. Hashtag fuck Hayward.
Yeah.
He had to have a greater motivation. There has to be something to this character beyond that he loves sword. And I'm willing to shoot anyone.
Beyond the urge to kill.
Well, I don't know. I think a little bit. I think it's also because the one thing he wanted the weapon, right? So he wanted Vision as a weapon. That was his main thing. And then what he was saying, he ultimately wanted to then be like, oh, I defeated Wanda, and then I'll be a hero in a way. And then when everything was going down the shit, it makes sense for him. It's like, I gotta kill anybody who can say otherwise, so then I can stick to my story.
Damn.
And which involves killing children.
And mind you, he emptied the clip.
Right, that scene at the end, he's tried. He like did two more, like, blah, blah. It's like
That shit went click. I was like,
That
all right,
was
guy. All
Damn.
right, guy.
Yo, top 5 cold-blooded MCU villains.
cold-blooded, man.
Damn, you think
Oh,
so?
you know who's number 1 is Purple. If we have if Netflix is you know
Yes, of
canon, he's the most cold-blooded,
Mhm.
right?
I mean,
100%.
yeah, man.
Or is it
yeah.
Thanos simply because he's willing to kill billions?
No,
of
Wait,
trillions?
They're up there, exactly. I think they're up there.
Thanos actually kind of had a philosophical justification.
But he's
still cold-blooded.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Sometimes that's what you need, though. The Purple Man was on some other shit.
Yeah, that was more like well, I don't know.
The apartment scene, dude. Like, come on, bro. That like Thanos wouldn't do that. Like, he doesn't do like the frivolous violence. You know what I mean? It's all for a goal. Like, I really enjoyed. Like, okay, never mind. I was gonna go off on a tangent.
No. Wait, but back to like the Vision showdown. I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
And there were shades of like Man of Steel. Like they're like, you know, 2 flying super beings in like a small town, keep destroying it basically. That was really cool. And just seeing Paul Bettany with the whole white, it looked really cool visually.
Yeah.
And then the way their conflict ends, which I kind of felt was, I kind of called it before, that they're gonna do like a Superman Reborn kind of deal, where this iteration of him somehow merges with this iteration of him to form this new version, but yet they're the same, yada yada yada. So like you know, the Vision that was born of Wanda's hex, you know, he imparts some type of something into this new all-white Vision.
Well, he didn't necessarily impart something
or
on
unlock.
him. Yeah, exactly. Because that's the part that was the fucking trippy. Because I love the finale. I love that. I thought it was great. I have one actually, now that we're on it about the Vision, there was one thing I didn't like. Well, I'll get into it in a second. But what happened in that moment exactly, the trippiness of the Vision Wanda's Vision, right? Oh, whoa, shit. Maybe that's why it's also called WandaVision, right? Because it's him realizing I'm not really Vision, right? You're actually Vision, and noticing that you still have memories of everything that happened, but they're blocked from you, and he unlocked them, right? And so then that's when he fucking the flashbacks of everything, because remember, Wanda's Vision doesn't remember anything, right? He says he's a clean slate. But like the one thing I didn't like was that once Vision is reborn, right? He remembers who he is. He's like, oh, I'm Vision. He then runs away. Like, he just leaves. He's like, I'm out. Like, he doesn't run to Wanda, his love, right? Where the fuck did he go? He just fucking left. I'm like, what happened there? Like, where did he go?
I mean, to be fair, the dude's dealing with a lot upon realizing who he is. Like, good Lord, man.
Yes, I'll potentially give him that, but he is a hero, though, you know? I do think as a hero, and especially like the way Rod's saying, comparing it to Superman, you know, and Superman Reborn and all that, the fight type scene, Superman wouldn't just like, all right, peace, I'm out. Zack Snyder Superman, maybe, but not the OG Superman.
No, but that's the thing. I don't think that the Vision, Wanda's Vision, like that he made the Sword Vision like really aware of anything. He just unlocked something, and which was just information to this new body of Vision. So like he has no like skin in the game. That's the way I took it. That this Vision is way more like information based. It has like no heart, like the previous one does. This one is just like, okay, I'm calibrating, assessing. Okay, I'm out. Like, you know, so
Data Vision.
Right. Oh, right.
Yes, which makes the final scene with Wanda and Vision that, you know, important, because it wasn't like she's gonna say goodbye to this like all white, you know, Sword Vision. She's gonna say goodbye to her Vision, because, you know, that's the Vision, whatever, blah blah.
Oh, that's a good point. Exactly. Because you're right. It's like he unlocked the original Vision's memories, but they did make a point at saying, with that cool philosophical metaphor of the boat, right? About that he's also still not Vision though, right? He is still like a new Vision, but the old Vision, right? Because he also did say doesn't have the Mind Stone, right? So it's like, all right, so that's a good. All right, so you're a good point. It's like, so because that's why he's just like, fuck this, I gotta deal with my own shit. What am I?
I'm not gonna lie, straight up, that exchange between the two Visions in the library was my entire part of the entire finale. That conversation was mind blowing. I was
awesome.
like, oh shit. And like I enjoyed the fact that they did that because it gave people who aren't really that familiar with the character, who are just like initiated into the Avengers via the MCU and have never really done any type of deep dives, to really show the type of character that Vision is. Because yeah, he has all these powers, but he's also like one of the most philosophical characters there is, on par with like the old school Silver Surfer.
Oh,
Just like the depth of like the discussions that he has with Wanda and with apparently like his actual counterparts of himself throughout, like the shows and comics. Like he's one of the most interesting characters there is. He really makes you think.
Yo, Silver Surfer.
yo, come on,
Kevin
MCU.
Feige.
Yeah, man. Good God.
Yo, but speaking of this, also the philosophical debate and how important that was, and about the weirdness, realizing like, am I alive? Am I not alive? That kind of thing. Am I different or not? I think I spot an Easter egg. I need to go. I only saw it once, but I think there was an Easter egg. Have you guys seen Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner?
I've seen like parts of it.
It's been
not
too
the
long
whole
for
thing.
me.
Because at the end, when the whole thing falls apart and the hex is removed in the movie theater where we had The Incredibles and The Parent Trap before,
Yeah.
now it had something about, I think it said either Tannhausen gate or Tannhauser tunnel, something, and then underneath it said something, we put the fun in dysfunction, which I don't know what that means. But the Tannhauser gate part, if it was gate or tunnel, I don't remember what it was. But if I remember, actually, in the movie, this might be a stretch, but in the movie Blade Runner, right? Because Blade Runner is dealing with replicants, no? Where the idea is that like they're machines, but they might be alive, they might not be alive, right? And they can fool people, and that's a whole thing, right? With the idea of like with the character of fucking Han Solo's character, right? We don't know if he's a replicant or not himself, Harrison Ford.
Han Solo's character?
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Isn't it like Taggart or something like that, I think?
I don't remember his name.
Like Taggart, some shit like that.
Yeah, there's a speech at the end from the main replicant, the bad guy, where he does. It's an iconic scene when he's about to die, and he does this fucking poetic speech and about tears in the rain, about how he's just gonna die, and all his memories, all the things that he's seen is just gonna disappear. And he mentions in that fucking poem or speech, whatever it was, Tannhauser Gate. So for me, I felt that was like a nod to Blade Runner with the idea of like replicants and sentient AI life a la Vision. But I don't know.
Tinfoil hat AF. And apparently also inspired by whatever you're drinking at the moment. If you'd like to let us know what that is, because good Lord, what the hell, man?
That is correct. We do want to try to do this a few times. So as you guys have been following us, at least on YouTube, you'll notice that I've enjoyed my drink. It's a Friday night when we're recording. It's a long fucking work week. And so
he's establishing a pattern.
Exactly. So today the drink of today of the week is a nice Ron Barceló, fucking an Imperial. So we got for my Dominican friends.
Good choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Holla.
And I'm also
appreciated by Rod and I as Dominicans.
Enjoying it with as well Southern Pier Brewing Company's 8 days a week. Infinitely drinkable.
Double fisting. Look at that.
They gotta send us like at least a 6-pack for that ad, that plug.
Facts.
I know. Facts. Come on, Ron Barceló, the Southern Pier. What's up? Either or.
Holla at us.
They straight up send you a keg of rum.
Yes.
Damn. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, all right. A few more things to mention. I mean, there may be quite.
We digress.
All right, so I'm gonna skip all the way to the end real quick and go to her reading the Darkhold, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called?
So you're speaking now of the actual post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene, yeah. Okay, so yeah, in this episode we get both mid-credits and a post-credits. All right, let's break down the mid one first. Then we'll work our way backward.
Yeah.
That's Captain Rambo being approached by a Skrull lady that's like, yo, we gotta leave or something like that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. To go see Nick Fury, obviously.
Yeah, because she was referring to Nick Fury, right? I think she was saying something about.
Oh, I thought it might have been like that other dude from Captain Marvel or something. Either one of them. I don't remember that guy's name.
Because remember, I forgot. At the end of what movie was it that they showed?
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, at the end of so he's in space, and
Nick
she
Fury,
pointed up.
Right.
So they're definitely talking about Fury.
Yeah, so I'm
Secret Invasion.
Right, exactly, because Secret Invasion is supposed to star Nick Fury, Sam Jackson, and that main other Skrull guy, Medelson, I think his last name is, and the actor. And I think if they're hinting, I would love to see Rambeau in the Secret Invasion show too, because I want to see her grow. I really loved her character. I loved how she was starting now to develop her powers. Let's see her grow more in Secret Invasion.
Word.
And there's one thing I want to address. Let's try to hold ourselves accountable for this because we all got very invested into this. That Evan Peters role wasn't shit, bro.
What do you mean?
Like, it wasn't anything. He wasn't Mephisto. He wasn't from another dimension. He was just some motherfucker like with like a necklace that made him fast. Like,
I thought that was hilarious. I don't know.
No, but I'm saying, like,
I loved him in the show.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But I'm saying, like, everyone went in. No one, like, who had all their chips on his role being frivolous? Like it wasn't shit. As soon as she ripped up the necklace, I'm like, damn, we got son.
But in a great way, by a great actor.
Facts. Like, it was so clever how they did it. Like, I give Disney props.
Yo, that whole room scene was hilarious. Where he's just like a basic dude just chilling with God powers.
Yo, like we were all like fucking like it's gonna be Mephisto.
Yeah.
Like, them mentioning Ralph before, because Agnes, right? Agatha Harkness as Agnes kept saying Ralph, right? That her husband Ralph, and then at one point I think did she say her? I don't even remember that her rabbit was Ralph or something, and then people were thinking, is Ralph like freaking Mephisto or something? We'll see. Like, even right, Rod was saying that Agatha's the mom, Mephisto's the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so nope, we got Ralph Boner.
We encourage our fans to go back and listen to the minisodes, knowing that our theories are absolutely worthless.
I saw a really good meme today that you guys have seen. Remember that classic scene in the House of M, at the end of House of M, when Wanda says no more mutants, and then we get the decimation of the mutant population, right? I've seen a meme popping up today of that saying Wanda that just says no more fan theories. Is like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's no more. We're fucking, and that's actually good. We're done with the fan theories. Okay.
And now
I had a blast every second of it. I don't care. I think that was Kevin Feige's plan. He wanted to make this type of show for Disney Plus, like this kind of Lost, like the show Lost kind of deal, like a mystery the entire way through, and just have the steam of the show be built off of fan speculation.
Yeah. And I think it was a really great idea from Paul Bettany also saying that the big reveal hasn't happened yet. You won't believe who we have on the show. It's an actor I've been dying to play with.
Exactly.
I see Chess is disappointed that it's not Benjamin Cumberbatch.
Facts. And of course, folks, his actual name is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right.
Just so people go out there and Google that.
Yeah. and I remember reading that. So Paul Bettany was like, afterwards, like in the last week, he was like, oh my god, people are gonna be so disappointed. Like, it's just me. I was referring to myself. I actually think that was genius. I think that's great. It was the hype going even more.
As a matter of fact, like, I remember, did one of you guys mention that could be a possibility?
I think we said that in the last episode after they revealed
yeah. But once again, when I keep saying this, like, there's just something about like the intensity. Like, shout outs to Paul Bettany, man, acting against yourself. And if any fans have ever seen shit that's like behind the scenes, every actor in that scene had another person to play off of. That Paul Bettany scene, he was probably staring at like a green cardboard box or some shit.
Or a mirror.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's a total possibility.
Like Willem Dafoe in Spider-Man.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Remember that great scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, dude, his acting, I am so glad that this dude got like his career got saved, man. We're gonna get so much more awesome shit from Paul Bettany.
I think
love
he
it.
was. I think he was valid. Like he had nothing to worry about.
Exactly saved. Like he was in the
Nah, dude.
like
Nah, like you guys haven't heard the story. I think it was like that before he got the call to be Jarvis. I think it was by John Favreau or some shit like that. Fans correct me if I'm
oh
wrong.
yes, I think
He-
I heard that.
He was like sitting on the sidewalk, like he got told he would never work in the sun again. Boom. Fast forward. See, so fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna do all right. He's gonna
Yeah.
do all right.
Millions are seeing how charming he is.
And that's the other thing I really did love about the show, right? One that I do really think for both of them, for Wanda and Vision, they highlighted their acting skills. They highlighted them as characters that I do really think I would watch a movie that's more focused on them too. Like I think they could carry it with a proper script and that
Yeah.
they have the acting chops. And now, one, I'm glad that Vision's back in a way that we still get Paul Bettany, and it'll be so fascinating to see him in this colder, a version of himself and just see what happens. Like, awesome. So many
True.
stories to tell for fucking years.
True.
Is it stupid to think that when they showed what Wanda ended up doing in the second after credit scene in the woods, that is like, why don't you do that from the beginning?
All right, so
Like,
right,
read
let's
the
get into
Darkhold?
this.
No. Not read the Darkhold. Go to a more just desolate location for the whole family thing. Like, why go to a town in the first place and enslave and endanger a bunch of people? You could have just gone to the woods.
Well, no, because that was the reaction. Remember, because she had the deed of the place
Oh,
with
yeah,
the map
yeah,
by
yeah,
by
yeah.
Vision. And so
Okay,
she
I forgot
went
about
to
that.
go see it.
You
and
almost
when,
had me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
You almost had me.
yeah.
you're like, why
Yeah.
didn't she just
That's
go
a-
to the woods?
That shit could solve a lot of problems, right? Yo, go to the woods. I just got fired, bro. Bro, just go to the woods.
Go to the woods. Come back when you're ready.
like that epic bearded dude, the epic
Facts.
approving
Facts.
outdoorsman. Cue him right here.
Yeah.
Isn't that
This guy got me through some rough times right here.
Isn't that what's his name?
Robert
Grizzly
Redford.
Adams or something like that? Is Grizzly Adams?
The actor is Robert Redford.
No,
Is
but I mean like
it
the
really?
character.
Yeah. What was his name in Winter Soldier? He was a fucking like
Yeah, the Hydra. He was a Shield captain.
Yeah.
Not captain. Whatever. President. Or
that last second
director.
twist. They do that a lot. Like I don't. Maybe not. They'll do it a lot, but like we've seen it with that character, then with the Agnes character.
Yeah.
Like she turns around. Well, I've been the villain this whole time. And,
Right.
Whoa.
Alexander Pierce was his name. Alexander Pierce.
Yes.
And that was awesome. Right, but yeah, all right. So great. We went through the mid-credit scene. We dived into that. And so exactly. So now there was the post-credit scene, right? Which is her in the woods, finally, like out in. I'm assuming it was like near Sokovia, or is this still the U.S.? I don't even know. But
Yeah.
like she's there, and we see her doing right. She's outside in her I love that it's like what, sweats and shit,
Yeah.
like drinking tea or something.
Hell
But then
yeah.
inside we have like her astral version of herself or something. All full Wanda, fucking all multiple hands reading the Darkhold. And did you guys notice, like, we hear her kids, saying, "Mommy, help me."
Yeah. And then she leaves. But like,
Oh fuck.
and then that's the thing. I just keep coming back to one of the first thoughts I had is, where is the Sorcerer Supreme? It's either he's doing something that's more important, or Disney is leaving a giant gaping plot hole, which they're not known for doing.
They're not.
So
Kevin
applying,
Feige's a mad genius.
so applying fucking what's it called? Occam's razor. He's dealing with the Spider-Man thing, and I'm wagging a pen, so that means like I'm fucking right.
For something, yeah. I mean, yeah. So okay. First of all, I'm mad that like DC couldn't get their shit together and get Raven on the screen as like the Queen Witch goddess character. But like kudos to Marvel for getting theirs out first, because I think that obviously like Elizabeth Olsen has been spectacular the entire time. I guess and just to add to my review of the show, you get to watch a great showcase from a great actress.
Hell yes.
But I ultimately though, this is not a show that it's like I would put it like in the Jessica Jones type of like realm,
And I didn't
which
even
is good,
know- Yeah, exactly.
obviously.
But it's weird, right? Because it's a very different type of show, right? Because it's kind of like a long movie, but it's like, because the big thing of WandaVision was that we had no idea what's happening, and every episode leaves you guessing what's happening next.
Yeah.
Rewatching it it kind of takes all that away, right? It's just maybe some episode will be down to rewatch, but the whole thing, who knows? But that's why it's weird. It's not the same as like all the Netflix shows, which are like stories crafted to be like a good book that you would want to reread or something, For WandaVision was,
I guess
I don't know.
I guess I have a better metric.
Yes.
It'll be Under the Boys. How about that one?
Ooh, wait, damn.
Yeah.
Or you got The Boys better. I mean, or worse rather.
The Boys is way better than WandaVision.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it would be underneath The Boys, which is obviously great. So still heavy hitters the whole way through. So why split hairs? Watchmen is still like probably the best modern superhero
Hell
show.
yes.
You know what it is about WandaVision? It's like it's so and I mean this like across from the start to the finish. It almost feels like a very unbalanced seesaw. Like the end is so much better than the beginning.
Right.
That's why I feel like The Boys like is good throughout. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this was a slow burn, but then the last two episodes, it was like just getting smacked every couple of minutes. So it's kind of like I would rewatch the last 2 or 3 episodes. You know what I mean? Maybe the last 2, because that shit felt like a movie.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's what I feel like about the whole series. Now, especially we did get that MCU quality, the MCU valued production, right? That it's more than just a TV show quality, right? And like I could totally see it be like, so it was what, 9 episodes? They were about 30 minutes each, 40 minutes each, right? So I don't know the math for that, but it'd be a long movie if we would all put it all together, maybe edit. I'm sure there's some moments that could have been filler that could be removed, and it could be a movie, a good 3-4 hour movie or something.
Word. Agreed. And I'm sure somebody's making that cut. Like basically, like it was in episode 4 that they got to like the real world with Sword and Agent Wu and Captain Rambeau. Like that's like start from there, or like when she phases in, whenever the movie part and the TV show stopped. Like you could cut the whole TV show sequence out and just have the references that Darcy makes to it and stuff like that. And it would make like a pretty solid flick. And it, the climax was really cool. Her using, like Miguel mentioned, like the runes, because she's like when she's missing blasts. I'm like, oh, I'm looking at that. Like, is this relevant that she just missed 3 times? And it was like the whole thing. And
I didn't even think that. And then I was like, damn, that's epic.
Word. Until the 3rd one or something, I was like, wait, what is she just missing? Or like I was blown away with the runes. Like, oh yes.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then she fucking did the lobotomy on her. That Justice God Superman like Doomsday lobotomy. Like,
that was crazy.
And I love that Monica seeing it, right? Monica's like, I'm not like I'm
okay, my pay grade.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, like I don't do magic, bro.
And then Agatha, what is she, like, immortal? Or she needs to siphon youth? I don't know how her powers work. Like, will she age now that she's not a dark witch?
Oh, that's a good question.
No, I think she still is a dark witch, but she's just like encased in Agnes. Like, I guess, like, it's just like a prison. And
no, but like Rod is saying, like, how is she staying young, right? Because
it's by siphoning,
but I mean, also like, those types, like a long ass time ago, she probably did some like Faustian blood ritual to stay young forever, or made a pact with a demon, some crazy
with
shit.
Mephisto.
Facts.
Not. You didn't get any Mephisto shit.
Yo, facts. Like, yo.
Wait.
Like nothing.
Did we not? Isn't the cry of her kids hell?
Maybe, right? Maybe.
And now she's gonna venture down there and somehow finally, like, Ches really wants to finally bring Doc Strange out of wherever he is. Like, okay, she's traveling to the dark realm. Now I gotta get involved. This whole, mind wiping millions of or whatever, hundreds of people. And that scene was also pretty cool when they all started coming to and looking at her like she's like the worst thing ever. Like, and one more thing, the desperation, because they knew that they only had a limited time to talk to her. So I love how the actors were like, okay, I gotta say as much as I can right now. I haven't touched my daughter like in a month. I haven't seen her. She's in her room. And then like,
and like trying to
terrified.
And trying to negotiate, be like, can you please let them out like for a little bit? Like, maybe this line would in the story you would like for her. Can you please like, like that was like like fucking heart wrenching, like shit.
I kind of felt that scene, but the lack of emotion in that shit was crazy. Nobody was cursing at her. Like nobody came. Like nobody got taken out of the school. Like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like that's insane.
That was because there was no Latinos there. It was just mostly like white people and like two, like one black guy and one like Asian looking dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like everyone was insanely calm. Yo, why was nobody like, oh my fucking god, like you know what I mean?
Because she's a demon goddess and she controls everything. Like
afraid,
as far as they know, the whole world is under this spell, right?
You're right.
Listen,
they don't know it's just Westview, right? They're probably
a god,
fucking the U.S. or something.
For a moment, they saw God walking their streets.
Listen, man, I would have pulled the Van Zandt. I would have lunged for freedom.
Yo, and speaking of that, I loved all of that. Two comments to this. Like one just the Doctor Strange thing, actually. Like I do agree with what Ches is saying too, like with the where was Doctor Strange, because whatever Wanda did caught Agatha's attention, right? She's like, what the fuck is happening with all this magic? Let me go check it out and be like, what? How are you doing this? Right? And Doctor Strange, and what's crazy, they're in Westview, New Jersey. Fucking he lives in Manhattan, New York City, right? Like it's just
in the village.
Like it's probably not that far. Like you can't sense that motherfucker. Like where are you, fucking Doctor Strange?
But don't you think this is just Kevin Feige being more genius because he knew we'd have this question and he's gonna answer it? So the same engine that kept WandaVision, there's still mysteries. Mephisto's still involved, right?
All the chips on Mephisto.
The other thing I wanted to say that I really loved about the show, that I do love that they didn't really, because I do think there was a lot of moments where we were like, oh, is Wanda being controlled, right? Like she doesn't seem to know how she's doing this, right? But I love that they ended up not, como se dice, sugarcoating that or like, no, they're like, no, it was her. Like she did it. She lost fucking control. Yeah, sure, it's because of the Scarlet Witch, but it's like, it's the trauma that she's experienced and everything that's happened to her. And also, which makes sense, right, dude? Right? Like, she saw her love die twice, right? In the moment after Thanos, and then she dies and comes back 5 years later. It's like, that's fucking insane to go through. And so to lock that. And what I like about that is that I think it gives it a good nod to her original story in the comic books, right? Because in the comic book she was a villain to start, right? She was a member of the Brotherhood of the Evil Mutants with her then dad, Magneto, and she was a villain, right? And she became a good, superhero, joined the Avengers, and then kind of like wax and wane, because then she went nuts too and fucking killed all the mutants and just killed a few Avengers, and
it's layered.
It's layered, yeah. So I like that they gave her that nice fucking rich depth to her character. I don't think all the other Avengers have that kind of depth to their character. Well, I guess the three main ones do, probably to some degree.
Well, I mean, I was about to say, like, hasn't each Avenger had like their own like series of movies to like really flesh out the characters?
Exactly.
Like, there's some rumors floating around about like a mutants project coming out of Marvel. I think I don't remember the source, but I'll probably post it up now. But yeah, what if WandaVision is still planting the seeds for mutants, right? Another question that we still didn't get answered, right? Are mutants somehow going to become involved because of this? And let's say, for example, that they do begin to happen for whatever reason. The reason why the government is after them could be because of what Wanda did in Westview. Like, this is me just tying Pepe Sylvia type shit together. But like, if she's the first mutants or something, and they just tie that, she's like a war criminal, basically, right?
Yeah,
she held how many like hundreds of American citizens hostage? That she's like a fugitive.
She held
hence why she's in the woods.
Yo, she held them hostage and tortured them, right? Because that's the other part. It's like they were in pain every time. That's the other thing I thought when it ended, when she fucking did Agatha, made her Agnes, and like Monica's like, all right, whatever, dude. And then she just walks away and leaves. I was thinking like, don't you need to arrest her though? Like anyway, like, and I thought Wanda would still be like, let me, and then. But that Wanda's like, try and arrest me, right? Like, sure, what? Like, it'll be a gesture. I'll leave whenever I fucking feel like it. And,
Yikes.
And Monica was like, all right, good, peace.
But then like that bullshit by Monica where she says like, if I had your powers, I would bring my mom back. Yes, okay. Would you also take?
That's her
pissing
pissing yourself.
Like,
Pissing yourself in the presence of a god. She's like, yo, I would have the same, man. We cool though, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I would have been worse. I would have been worse. No. I would have brought my mom to life and killed people. No, you good. All right, now just
killed her.
Please
good.
Please leave.
Like, I get you. I understand you.
Miedo.
Yikes.
Like, I can't wait until we get like an on-screen breakdown of what like Rambo's powers actually are. I want that little 2 or 3 minute tidbit where they do like a breakdown of her abilities and shit. And I have a feeling that she's gonna appear in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Really?
I don't know why. She's like a militant character. It's gonna be like a militant show. She's gonna pop in. I don't know. Like,
well, Secret Invasion almost for sure.
Yeah,
right. It involves
Skrulls. Sure, yeah,
because I feel like they can use her to weave the shows together. Because I feel like Sword could be like
the Rosario Dawson character.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag the Night Nurse.
Night Nurse. Shout out to Rosario Dawson. Come to our show. We love you.
And shout out to actual nurses. Thank you.
Facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to take a step back and talk about like Wanda is still psychotic, right? Because she's an adult woman and she had a tantrum that made her live life like a TV show.
Word.
But okay, I don't know how many people that actually happens to in life, but she's willing to take all these people's minds hostage. I'm saying like if they tie this to why mutants are persecuted, that would be a stroke of genius. I think.
Love that. I think that's
because she's
still fucking idea.
I was gonna say the Justice League, the Avengers.
Damn.
The Avengers have to take note of this incident. Right,
and it builds off of it builds off of like because the Sokovia Accords that happened were also in part driven by Wanda's mistake of like trying to hold Crossbones, right, that he was going to blow up in Civil War and threw him up and ended up blowing up a building with people in there, and that's embassy. when the embassy that was something else. That was when Black Panther got involved. Right? Oh, was it that?
It was the same thing.
It was the same movie.
It's the same scene, right?
The same scene.
I think the same incident, right?
Yeah.
Is what
it was an embassy in Sokovia where she killed Black Panther's dad.
It wasn't Sokovia; it was some other place. But
okay. Yeah.
But yes,
they call it Sokovia Accords because then they're like, and then look at what happened with Ultron, and we're involved, and with them being like, fuck, right? But exactly, if they're able to pinpoint to say like, oh, look, Wanda's a mutant. We're seeing mutants pop up all over the world. Wanda was the reason. They'll blame her for Ultron. They'll blame her for fucking the whole Civil War shit. And then they'll be like, you know what? Avengers are cool. Mutants, you fuck them. They can't control their powers. Because that is very mutant-like, right? That she had, because technically with the mutants, right, it's like they have a stressful experience, usually in puberty or around their teenage years, and then they unleash their powers uncontrollably. She experienced an incredible levels of stress. She's not a teenager. I think she's in her late 20s, I think. And she's actually, I think, like 31 or something. And then fucking had this outbreak of power, which though it is like what Rod's saying, she did have I don't know if I would call it a psychotic break, but she did have a mental breakdown. Like she had a crisis.
Yeah, we got to defer to Miguel's on this one. I think if you're willing to take hundreds of people hostage, I think you're a psychotic.
You got something going on now.
Right. And especially because she didn't know it. I think the big thing is because she also lost track of reality, that she's like, I don't think I'm doing this. Yeah. That's just like, I think for listeners out there, if they don't know, I'm a neuropsychologist, so I can speak about this clinical.
Yo, and what if, all right, going back to my Raven Trigon theory, what if still there were no kids? They never existed. Still, this is just a way for Mephisto to get,
Damn.
because Mephisto is Trigon of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
This is just a way for him to get like unlocked. Like the same way Raven is the key to unlocking. Because remember, Agatha, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but Agatha says, like, you're gonna need me. You don't know what you started.
Yeah.
Yeah, word.
I think there's something to that. She wasn't just begging for her life. The poor woman was about to have her entire mind erased. But yeah, I think there's something to that, and I think there's something to the whole key to the devil. They're gonna. I hope that they play that, especially for the multiverse stuff, and that Ghost Rider. I think Chez said that Ghost Rider somehow comes out of this.
Actually, I've talked about this before, not specifically this, but I highly recommend for all of you to watch Agents of Shield, because the Darkhold appeared heavily in a season in Shield. I don't know if it's, so I was reading about this before about we don't know if it's the same Darkhold. So is Shield and this show right within canon, right? Because the Darkhold is involved in one season a lot, especially with Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider in that season, which is an awesome season. And so it would be kind of, I would love it if it is the same book, and that they kind of find a way to involve them and bring Ghost Rider back, either Robbie Reyes or a classic like Johnny Blaze, or what was the other one, Danny Ketch?
Yeah. Listen, I totally see that happening. Regarding the theory about the mutants, I'm not sure which one of us saw Age of Ultron most recently, but did they ever address how Quicksilver got his powers? Or was it implied that he was born with them? Did they ever give an origin for Pietro's abilities?
I think it was the same thing as with Wanda. They said that they were both experimented on with the Mind
both
Stone.
of them.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then further testing through Hydra.
Okay, gotcha. Never mind. Because it was kind of like because so are they going to change the definition of mutants, or was it like that they had is it like that they both had the X gene, but it was activated by the Mind Stone?
Yeah, I want to read a Kevin Feige tell all, because I want to know what he knew about the mutant property when Winter Soldier came out. Like, what did he know about what was going to happen with Fox? Like, did they have any idea they were going to be acquired? Because that was like that's the first MCU appearance of mutants in a sense, right? It's fucking Wanda and Pietro, but they didn't call them mutants.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
what
okay,
I'm saying.
Let's play it soft until we acquire like that, just like the name or whatever. Anyway,
I think you're suggesting that Kevin Feige has an actual Darkhold in his office, and he's just planning everything through that, like Wanda, like looking at what.
Cue Kevin Feige, look into his eyes. He knows everything.
Facts. Listen, man,
his brain is worth billions of, if not trillions of dollars, which stored in that man's brain.
Yeah, I think that level of acquisition. Hell, dude, like, considering the amount of money that they've made, the amount of money that was involved in the production and all that stuff and the creation of everything. Hell yeah. As a matter of fact, I think first he made a plan, right? Like a grand vision, including all the characters, even the ones they didn't have, right? He just made up a story, right? Then he hired a fucking battalion of like tier 1. What is it called? Like mental property lawyers or some shit like that, like
intellectual property.
Yeah, intellectual property lawyers, and asked them to just on some spaceball shit with a fine through comb in the desert and go through every page of those 5,000 page contracts.
Word, of course.
To know when the fuck they were gonna get these properties and execute it from there. My God, all hell Feige.
Except for Spider-Man. That probably keeps him up at night. He's like, Spider-Man, yo, Sony.
At this point in my shirt right now. Boom.
Facts. At this point in time, I want fans to rewind this video and go look at the image of Feige again.
I love that you said rewind, like I feel like an actual button, like like you can rewind. I don't know.
Yeah, or you can just have it again right here.
Yeah. Boom! Look at it again. Look at his eyes. Shit.
I mean, I was thinking if they went back, it was like really low budget viewer interaction.
I also speaking
of like drag this thing over here.
Yeah, exactly. Like this thing right here, right? Like I don't know where
Oh,
down there. Move it just a little bit.
Yeah, like the red bar. And
I'm with that.
Look at Feige again.
But speaking of the whole mutant and Kevin Feige's wonderful, ideas probably is also because remember what was great about this series is that they are really alluding at the mutant idea, right? With the whole thing with us, with Agatha showing us that she believes that Wanda stopped the fucking Stark bomb from exploding even before being experimented on, right? Which was another stressful experience that she might have been able to then use her probability hex magic to do it, right? And then I do feel at the end not at the end, but like in the last episode, right? And when she's being confronted by Agatha and everybody there, that she does says something along the lines of like, she's like, I'm not a witch. I was never taught. I don't do spells and shit. She's like, I just do this, right? Which was also very mutant-y, right? Like, like I just have this power. I don't know what happened. I can't control it, obviously, which is very mutant, right? So it's like, shit, like, I love your idea, Rod. Like this can lead to them like discriminating against mutants.
And now, as per the story that was being told in the show, they were exposed to the Mind Stone after the death of their parents, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So, my earlier question, did they have the powers, or where did they get the powers from? There you go. That was an instant of her powers being used before the exposure to the Mind Stone. Therefore, de facto, they're mutants.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it right there. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Like, I encourage fans to find a hole in that, please.
There's like a 0.00001% chance that it was a Stark dud.
Damn. But
Right.
no.
Right.
That would have been a dud if it would have been made by Hammer Industries.
Oh.
Throwing
Shout out to
shade.
Justin Hammer.
Facts. Shout out to Justin. No, not shout out to Justin Hammer.
Sam Rockwell,
Why?
great
Sam Rockwell,
actor.
Yeah. Because I hate that character. I fucking hate Justin Hammer.
I never understood any of the negative talk about Iron Man 2. I thought it was great. I saw it like 3 times, bro.
Oh yeah,
I saw it in
like
IMAX. No, but like people tend to put
Who's
it
the
down,
one that has Whiplash, right? Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, that's part
That
2.
shit was great.
That was great. That was a good movie.
What the fuck? Dude,
No,
when they're
but-
in Monaco with the suit, with the briefcase, yo, come on, man.
Now, Chess says that he hates the character not Army Hammer, not the cannibal. No, I mean,
We need cannibals here.
No, that he doesn't like the person, which is you're supposed to not like him because he's
Word.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they did a good job. So,
Yeah,
what's the
no.
actor's name again?
Sam Rockwell.
Shout out
Sam
to Sam
Rockwell.
Rockwell. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Fuck Justin Hammer.
Shit, man.
But yeah, man, Stark doesn't make duds. That's the point. That's why it's Stark Industries, which kind of I think even further proves that she's a mutant.
No, I'm with that. I'm totally with that.
And building off of the mutant idea too, you can also even think about being exposed to the mind gem as her developing almost a secondary mutation, which in the comic books that was a thing. I don't remember which writer exactly started. Technically, that first happened, I think, with Beast, when Beast experimented on himself and then made himself into an actual beast, and then we've had other secondary mutations like Emma Frost, like the White Queen, that now she can become a diamond. Which that happened, I think, during Grant Morrison's run in X-Men. And so you can think of it that way too, perhaps, right? That, being exposed to the Mind Stone really fucking unlocked her fucking world reality warping powers.
And now, no, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, they can easily say that Hydra has exposed other beings. I don't know, humans. I don't know what to call them. But right, because you just dive in with that, and then you get a Weapon X. Yeah. Oh my god.
Ooh,
oh my god.
Ooh, but
bring it in. Add Mr. Sinister. Sinister that he was working with Hydra because of the genetic type thing that he. Let's do it. Come on,
That's how they weave it.
That escalated very quickly.
But yeah, all right, and just to capture my entire thoughts about the series, WandaVision, just to close it off. It was a good run. I'm glad that we're getting content That's the most important thing. That Marvel Studios has been just like home run after home run. This is no different. This is another great addition to their expansive library of TV shows and I mean movies and now TV shows. So it's not like something that you want to really rewatch unless you want to see the cool parts. But like Chess said, just go to the last 3 episodes. But yeah, it just it just holds a high bar for what's coming next with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
correct.
Yeah, like the one thing that I'm looking forward is, like I said earlier, how they're gonna interweave the series together. Hopefully, it's not just by like a one sentence or two mentioning. I hope that the other series feel each other.
Bro, that's the one thing I have no doubt about. Because come on, no other company has done what the MCU Marvel Studios has done about really giving us the continuity that we get in comic books, right? Like, fuck, we just had Infinity War and Endgame, you know, which they masterfully connected everything. I have no doubt that WandaVision is gonna be connected to some way to everything else, and because it's happening in their real world.
Allow me to slightly correct you for a second. You stated that no company has given us the continuity that they have in the comics. DC on paper is a shit show. In the film world, they are also a shit show. And I say this as a DC fan. So,
that's a very good point.
They're consistent.
That they are matching exactly the continuity in the fucking books too.
Shout out to Marvel Studios, which is a big reason Marvel Comics was on the brink of bankruptcy before they took out a multi-million-dollar loan, which I'm sure they've paid 10 times over by now. And
they bought the bank, they gave them the loan,
and then brought in Robert Downey Jr., man, and just Jon Favreau and everybody else. And
Jesus Christ.
And that's what the only reason why we can say DC is like shit is just because they're compared to these guys that just struck gold and they keep striking gold.
Yeah,
but you know they have humble beginnings, both of them.
I don't know how humble the WB is, because that's the thing. But
that's not DC though.
But that's the movies have been coming from Warner Brothers. No, like that's the cool thing. I do really think Marvel became as big as it was because it was a small studio. It came from Marvel Studios or their own independent studio, obviously with a lot of money though, but still small compared to all these big ones. And they started doing good shit. And then eventually Disney was like, I like what you're doing. I own you now because of this, you know?
The mouse.
And then it's like, here's much more money, you know? But keep doing, like, that's what Disney's done, right? Like, even with Pixar, right? Like, I like what you're doing. You keep doing what you're doing, but here's more money to do more of what you do, you know? And actually, and then the other thing, what I've loved about Marvel Studios is they really do reference comic book, right? The comic books, you know, and they adapt it in a really good way. They don't do it faithfully, but they adapt it in a good way. One thing we haven't mentioned that I do think it was highlighted a lot in this episode, in the last one, was did you guys notice how when everything's fucking falling apart, that horrible scene with at the beginning with Vision fucking breaking up and the kids breaking up, it was a very a good nod to, I think, was it Olivia Coipel's art in House of M when she's fucking breaking shit up, that it's like little blocks, like it's a little squares and shit.
Deep cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Deep.
We saw that. I think the first time we saw that was when when we saw her make like the house around her. It was also like very squares and things like that breaking up and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, like you guys are doing it like in the comic books. I appreciate that.
And that's how they've been able to be so successful, right? Staying true to the source material.
Yeah. All right, so speaking of that, I do want to get your guys' thoughts on how did you guys feel about that fucking scene at the end though? Like with Wanda putting her kids to bed and like, all right, kids, families forever until not, because you're gonna die right now. Like,
I'm gonna do a bit of a deep cut. I put that on par with the scene when the old couple holds hands on the Titanic.
That's a deep cut.
If fans remember that scene when the ship was sinking,
I remember that.
The two old people, they kissed and they held hands. The ship was going down. You know what I mean? Like, why not just embrace the moment? You know what I mean? Like, you love your children, you put them to bed, they don't know what's happening. They technically weren't real to begin with. And then, you know, like, you delivered a heartfelt line, you know, like, what does she say? Thank you for choosing me to be your mom or some Hallmark shit like that. Yeah. and then
Homework.
and then there you go. Like, I think it was amazing. It was masterfully done, and can't give enough kudos to Feige.
Mhm.
Go back and stare at his face.
Yeah, word. Yeah, and I love how, at least from us hardcore fans, he gets all the credit. And there's so many people involved in these shows. And,
Word.
Feige, man. You're like that Feige guy.
Feige was
He's
responsible
killing
for
it.
the makeup daily.
Yeah. He's on
No.
set with the intense face.
He's like putting makeup on them. Like, no, I'll do it myself. You're doing it wrong.
yo, fuck around. He never
The
even
mark of
stepped
a
on-
true boss.
He never even stepped on set the entire production of WandaVision and shit.
Word.
Just like
He
phone
saw it
calls.
like us, like, oh, I approve this. This is good.
Yo, and you
Word.
call that trickle down brilliance.
Yeah.
When you're so brilliant at the top that you
You
can
hire.
just observe with total disconnect and take credit.
Bro,
Oh,
Kevin
man.
Feige, man.
Yeah,
Yo,
facts. I want to be like Feige when I grow up.
yo, but that scene, I love that scene. That's, I think, what I love about the show, that they really did the walk the fine line of like, it was campy and funny,
Yeah,
and,
word.
and gave us classic MCU antics and funniness and action. But then they also did the strong shit, right? Of like, fuck, like there's like darkness in the show, there's trauma in the show, and then at the end, like, not gonna lie, I cried a little bit in that scene when Wanda and Vision are talking at the very end, and especially because it was just a trip. I felt it was like very honorable of one, that moment when Vision realized, I think, what was it, when they're about to go home, that Vision says something like, it's not gonna work for us, right? And then Wanda's like, no, and like he realized, he's like, we have to die to let everybody, be free, and then with him in his last fucking, seconds, he's like, what am I, like, what am I? And like the whole thing that he's like the part of the Mind Stone that's still in her.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the, I don't know. I thought that was beautiful. I do believe that they were in love, that they were a good couple.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Mm.
And on the low, shout out to Kat Dennings, so the character named Darcy, for one of the most epic lines I've ever heard. Hashtag debriefs are for the weak.
You're right.
And I wish they would have put her in a scene, like, just straight up saying it as she walks away. Like,
Yeah.
they show like her, just like her back as she's walking away, and she just says it. But debriefs are for the weak. Yo, that shit had me dying. But yeah, man, fucking one awesome experience. And shit, like, I feel like we're like, once again, they set a whole new precedent with the movie universe. They did it again on Netflix, and I think in another weird way they're gonna do it again on Disney Plus in a whole new way. Those people, hashtag Feige.
Yes.
God, man. And on that note, folks, Jesus, just go rewatch, listen to the minisodes, listen to how many times we were wrong. And we still might get some Mephisto. So, bros, I love you guys. Awesome experience, awesome adventure. Can't wait till we do this again. As always, dudes, this is Chez. We are the Legion. Peace.
This is Miguel.
Peace out.